We've noticed a change in this, haven't we?
What's important, I think, for us to really look at is consumer behavior.
That's how we react as humans. We want it fast, we want it now.
And if you're still using the same marketing tactics, the same messaging, the same approach to that consumer from 10 years ago, you're missing out.
The consumer out there is thinking, there might be a better alternative.
We've found the institutions, we've brought them together in one place. And all of a sudden, you're instantly going in with 6, 7 offers, telling the person who wants to sell their house that I have 6, 7 offers right now. Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to another rousing episode of the Real Estate Consumer Shift Podcast. I am Jason Wells, one of your hosts. I'm here with my gold medal champion friend,
Tim Evans. Wellesley, what's going on? Tell me what's going on today.
I am all about the Olympics. I love this time of year when you get the Olympics going. We watch it nonstop. My youngest kids are like, so we told them it was game night yesterday. And that got them through the day until game night was watching the Olympic Games. And then they weren't too happy.
Yeah, it's interesting. Younger generation, I mean, it's just like they just don't. Like back when I was growing up, and probably you the same, it would come on and we would wait, and we'd wait for a year for Olympus to come on, to watch and to take in. But it seems like it's a little different with the younger generation. It's I think they just see a lot of sports, and it's like, that's another. That's it.
They're starting to get into it. Yeah. In watching it, and mom and dad are there cheering, and they're like, this is swimming. We never watch swimming. Or this is, why are we cheering about 3-on-3 basketball or something, that's like, we never see this on TV. But then you start USA, USA. And everyone's like,
I got caught up in the fencing,
yes, which we got a gold medal in that.
Yes, we did.
That was pretty awesome.
And I was like, pretty jacked up about that. So for those of you who are watching Olympics, go USA.
That's right. USA, USA.
You got it. Hey, we're going to talk a little bit about lead generation, and it was interesting how motivation and how a lot of us as real estate agents, or if you're in any kind of business that you have to lead generate your business to produce results, it seems like there's a little bit of a curve, right? You get the excitement when you first start, or you start a new project or a new.
Anytime you find something that's new and shiny, or you have a new idea that you're going to send out to your database or something that's really exciting, and something I want to call out is that this is a real important episode to be listening to if you have any concerns, fears, questions about what's happening with this NAR change. The National Association of Realtors changes. We've talked about this in previous podcasts. We went pretty deep into it. Guess what? It's in effect. Okay. You might be listening to it and it's taken effect, or it's coming into effect. We're going to talk to you about what you do to make that irrelevant. Really, the fact that these changes, and everybody's concerned about from the buyer side, what am I going to do about my buyer commissions, buyer coming away, what buyer's relevant, and that only 10%. There was a recent study that I think NAR put out that only 10% of homeowners right now were saying, "Oh yeah, I would totally pay someone." Everyone's like freaking out. Well, or this topic right here, actually, we're talking about is the way you insulate your business, so that is a non-issue.
Yeah, we're going to tie this all in, and this is a big change coming upon us here, shortly. Yeah. So
recap, what is the change? Just a quick recap.
Basically the change is that the buyer agent commission is no longer offered through the multiple listing service, and the agent has to negotiate their fee with the buyer to consummate the sale.
Right.
That's in essence what it is.
And it has to be very clear. The buyer has to be very clear on knowing this is how much I'm going to pay. Period. End of story, right?
Yes.
That's why there can't be in your
any
contracts. There's no offsetting language. You can't say, "Oh, I'll reduce my commission that you're paying me by whatever a seller might offer me." You can't say that. Okay. Right. Well, what you have to say is, this is what I'm going to get. The buyer is now agreeing to pay it. Now you can put there in a caveat, subject to it being offered by a seller, and make it a material term. That we've discussed that in our podcast. Mm-hmm. If it's a material term to the buyer that I have to have help to pay this commission to you, then You as the agent now have to go looking for properties, not just that fit their criteria, but that are also now offering concessions.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Hey, it's real time. That was coming. I've been fighting that for about a minute, man.
That was a gold medal sneeze right
gold
there.
medal sneeze. All right.
Okay, so back at it. The concession can be offered by the seller that can be used towards commission, but the not having it on the MLS is the thing that's got people freaked out. Okay. So if you're representing a buyer or if you're representing a seller, how do you go about handling that negotiation is really what it's about. Okay. That's really what a lot of the NAR settlement was about, is how to treat the commission, and that the buyer needs to know they're paying it.
Correct. And that's, in a nutshell, pretty clearly stated.
Yeah.
So it's going to change some things. It's going to change some of the behavior. It's going to change some of the things that you do in and around with your lead generation.
Yeah.
And how you are going to be relevant in staying in business, right?
But what never changes in lead generation?
I think the task and the work and finding the mechanisms that whatever platforms that will help you generate that lead, that you build a fence around it, you stay consistent to it, and you understand it. And the work in and around it and the investment, it just does not stop because it produces results. So many times people in business, they'll spit, the spinner. This is what it looks like in the beginning. It goes pretty fast. But over time, and these three arms are like your platform, lead generation, your business, but over time what happens? It starts to die, right? And then it gets stagnant. And then
those of you listening, Tim legit has a fidget spinner.
I have a fidget spinner. My granddaughter,
He's spinning.
My granddaughter had one of these on the table. She lives across the street, across the cul-de-sac from me, and she'd come over, and so she left hers on the table. Mm-hmm. And so
it gets going like you were showing, and it'll just spin. It'll slow down if you don't do something more to it.
Yeah. Long story short, she left, and I found myself for hours just sitting there spinning, thinking, like, how do you keep things going, right? And that's what happens, right? The excitement of new things, the discipline piece of it, things sort of just slow down. You lose the motivation on it, and then what happens? It stops spinning. But you can never stop. The energy is us. It never. You gotta put the finger and you gotta spin.
You gotta hit back to it. And I think there's probably a lot of you out there listening that took some advice. We were one of the ones that were also pushing that advice to get into your database and talk to them about these NAR changes, because the consumer's hearing about things. So that would be one of those, like, okay, I have something to talk about. It seems worthwhile. I'm going to put it out there. And so you put it out there, it starts to spin things around, but then you don't stay consistent. The discipline to come back to it and to nurture it and to keep pushing it wanes. Why is that? Why do I see that happen over and over with agents? Tim, why do they stop?
I think it loses the flavor. It's like gum. It sort of just, it's like, and they have results from it, right? But it's just, and then something else pops up, some other kind of lead generation piece or something else they turn their attention to. But this was producing results. This was working, right? And some of it's burnout. Mm-hmm. And some of it is just, honestly, it's just burnout. And that's a big thing. In owning any business, you get to a point where you can, I hear it all the time. Restaurant owners, real estate agents, lenders, they say, I'm just burned out.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
When you operate a business like we do as real estate agents, and in a market right now where things have been exceptionally slower in the sales numbers, have been down for the last 2 years for sure, it gets to be, I'm doing these same activities, but I'm not getting the kind of results I got like 3 years ago. And that starts to wear on them. Here's the thing. Discipline will beat talent every day. Discipline and talent crushes everybody, right? So when you start doing your lead generation, this is the thing you have to understand out there, is if to overcome these NAR things, you need to now be more disciplined in your lead generation. You call it lead generation, call it networking, call it whatever you want. But you got to be more disciplined in it. What does discipline mean? It means consistent. It means come back to it. Just have something that every now and again you just flick. You don't have to sit there and spin the fidget spinner really fast. You just flick it.
Yeah.
Every now and again it needs a flick. Just keep it alive. If you right now begin making a concentrated effort in your business to take listings, you will list to last in this business.
Was that list to last? Say that again. That is.
You will list to last. You have to start having your conversations, your messaging, everything that you're doing geared towards how you help people sell their homes. And if you do that, you start taking market share as a listing agent. And if you list, you will last. We see that with this change. The listing agents aren't the ones who are freaking out about these buyer commissions. It's the agents out there who primarily work with buyers because you're buying buyer leads from somewhere that are worried about what's going to happen. Just change your message a little bit, please. Shift a little bit of that money that you're spending towards buyer stuff towards seller communication. And that can look like just talking to your database as something as simple as, do you have a home value that you're sending out? There's lots of places you can get a home value from to generate it. I know some of them out there like a HomeBot or a Fellow or whatever. And one that we've recently come across that we really like is called House Metrics. When you do this, when you are now giving something to your database consistently, you can put it on a drip so that once a month it goes out. You're going to be now consistently.
Once a week, it's sitting there spinning offers. It's spinning value to the seller that's going to engage.
So think about what happens if not just giving a home value, because a lot of people can give a home value, but if you have a home value that can say, here's a home value, and this is what a cash offer would look like. This is what it would look like if you were to fix up your house before you sell it, kind of a love it or list it hook. This is what it would look like if you turned it into an Airbnb. This is what it would look like if you turned it into a long-term rental, because there's a lot of people out now who are sitting in houses. I know that like companies like Mutual of Omaha, 50% of their business right now is refi. Okay, 50% is refi. And people are like, why would they take out refi? You know, the mortgage and interest rates are a lot higher. Because they'd rather love it than list it right now. So they're pulling money out. They're fixing up their houses. Those homes are going to come to the market at some point. But why are you not engaged in those conversations?
You should be front of mind on all of those.
Yes.
On every one of them. And
yes.
And the consumer, your client, prospective client, prospect, should be reaching out to you, or you reaching them when these actions happen that you're having some dialogue with.
That's right.
And you help control some of those behavior things that are going to produce results from what they're looking for. So when it does come time to sell or buy, you're front of mind in front of them.
You're in front of mind because you've been there through their process.
Yeah.
You helped them get that refinance. You connected them to a lender. You know what? Something that's really good right now is to look at different options that you have. Did you know, agents, that you can get your LO license in most cases? Check with your broker because some of them just don't like it for whatever reason. But you can get your LO license. You can hang it with different groups, and you can get referral fees on those refinances, for example. Right? You're not the loan officer on it, but because you have a license, you can now get a referral. Think about if you're getting 50 basis points on a referral of a refinance that was $200,000 cash out refi. You're going to get 50 basis points on that.
Another way to stay relevant and
that's how you keep your business going. And when you're going to work as a buyer agent, you have to now think of other things like that. How do I lead generate to the listings to last? If I'm giving them an option to be able to refinance, or if I'm giving them an option to like, look, we could take some of the funds from here and use it as a down payment to another house, or what if we became an Airbnb? You are having these conversations as a listing to last agent. All of a sudden, that buyer stuff goes away because they're going to pay you to go be the buyer agent when they go buy something. They're going to be like, oh yeah, of course we'll pay you 2%, 3%, 4%, whatever. It goes away.
Yeah. It does. We get a lot of agents. We help a lot of agents with multiple cash offers. This is what we do, but we help them in the lead generation piece of it. And I think it's good to know that there's a paradigm shift a little bit that helps, and it favors with the decision that came down NAR, because with our offers, many of them you don't have to pay a co-broke.
That's right.
So you just eliminate that problem altogether with when you get the property. You don't have to pay a co-broke. You're already making the commission on it through selling it, so you're not dealing with that piece of a co-broke. You're getting paid from the institution the percentage that they're giving you. So anyways, it's quite interesting to see all this development change. I have a quick story. I've shared this, and I never shared this, but it's interesting how the theaters have changed. Went the other day, watched a great movie, Twisters. It's out. If you haven't seen that, go see it. It's a great movie. But what I noticed is that it was a big release, and Twister, the original one, was a hit. I mean, Universal Studio has a ride after Twister. I remember riding that. The theater was empty, just very few people. And it just dawned on me, not a lot of people are going to the theaters these days. And I don't know why, but I think after COVID, there were some things that happened. And now the releases come back through HBO or whatever, and people just happen to catch them at Netflix or whatever. You can pay the $20-$30, whatever it is, and watch Twister streaming at home. Yes, it's 100% exactly right. So there's a lot of things in your business that can change like that. So when a new thing comes in, like multiple cash offers, and it changes the way the industry reacts, how the consumer reacts, just like Uber and Waymo and Amazon and all that we've talked about in past podcasts, there you are. It's gone this way, and the agents tend to go that way. Did
not follow it. There's this resistance to it.
Follow to what the consumer is actually looking for.
Lean into that.
And the market opportunity in and all around that is just massive. So that's what we've helped with. We've put the cash offers, the platform. You have a customized site that you can utilize. You have House Metric that's like a spinner, right? Sits there and spins in your database, and it spins these opportunities to you with offers and cash offers and refi options and investment opportunities, short-term, long-term. And lo and behold, you as an agent are getting 4, 5, 6 listing leads, buying leads all together combined a month from the opportunity that this creates. I think that if I were to interview or talk to 100 real estate agents and I said, could you handle 5 or 6 more listings a month? You know what, with little spend at all, if any, just very little, I think every one of them would be, yes, sign me up.
Yes, I'd love to. I'll figure out a way to handle it.
And you control the lead. It's your lead. It's your business. You can model it and you can grow a business off.
Here's the thing. Those people are already in your database.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're not already talking to the people in your database, that has to be priority number 1, is to start having a consistent message. And I don't mean sending out a recipe card. I don't mean just sending out information about real estate. I mean sending out something that's of interest to the consumer. And there's nothing more interesting to the consumer that we have as real estate other than information about their own house. And if we have a way to cash that out through our cash offers, through a fix and flip, through a renovation project, we have all of those that within our platform. That is the way you stay in front of them.
100%. I think this is one of the best podcasts we've had, talking about NAR, talking about the changes, talking about never letting this die.
Yep. Keep that fidget spinner spinning.
Keep it spinning. Keep the pedal down. Stay motivated. Stay relevant. And I think a saying that you said, and we have shirts, is think different.
Think different.
Right? And if you do that, it's relevant. You're going to be in business for a while, and you're going to sustain. And if you want more information, Jason, about where to find our cash offers and find more about House Matrix and all the things that we offer out there, where do they go?
Come on over to our website at cashoffers.pro. Cashoffers.pro. We'll have all the information there for you. You're able to sign up, check it out. Check us out on YouTube with the rest of our podcasts. If you're listening to this, with all these podcasts are in video form as well. So check us out on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, check us out on your podcast. Take us with you wherever you go.
There is a fee. Let's just cover that real quick.
Not for the podcast.
Not for the podcast. Yeah, podcast. Yeah. It is $250 a month. There's no contract, 6 months or anything. No, it's month to month. And I think if you sign up for this, you will thank yourself, and the best $250 you ever spend in your real estate practice and business. I can rest you assured. We run mega teams. We do a lot of great work in all of the states. We're in 48 states, every city, providing offers and listing opportunity for you with great help. So please check us out. And our onboarding is phenomenal once you come in and sign up with all the things that you get and all the great tools that we have advantage for. So for you to take advantage of.
Yeah, that indeed. Everybody, thanks for checking us out today on the Real Estate Consumer Shift. Remember, get out there, list to last, think different. We'll catch you next time.
See you next time.